David Novell's Persuasive Speech.
Really? You didn't do this on the last one?
Guess I did.
You ready? Alright, this is for my speech class for my associates in criminal justice, hopefully, if I can finish all these classes. The speech is going to be on the body-worn cameras for police officers, so trying to sell it to y'all, whatever you want to say. The idea behind it is going to be, we're going to go through the history of cameras in police use, police force work, whatever you want to call it, how the cameras can help you in your department, and then go into the cost of the cameras and the storage of the data in the cameras. In our line of work, it'll come by to you. You're going to be questioned, like dealing with the community. Hey, what happened to this? What happened to that? So right there, you're going to want something to back up what you're saying, especially in today's day and age right now with everybody not believing anything the police have to say. So, first we're going to go into the history of the police using cameras. It first came about in the early 1990s when they put in-car cameras into the patrol cars. And the reason they did that, there was a lot of lawsuits coming about on being stopped due to race. So that's on your tickets that y'all will see, that those of y'all that are in the police academy, you'll see that there's a place on your ticket, was it racially related on the traffic stop. But when you're driving down the road, you'll notice that you can't tell what race someone is. The body-worn cameras is fairly new to the police work. So, I mean, they just came out 5 years ago, I think. Started putting them out, the little cheap ones that you could download to your laptop and go for them that way. Recently, Taser International, they conducted a 12-month study in Rialto, California on body-worn cameras, and some statistics that came about from that was citizen complaint at that department dropped 87.5% by the officers wearing the body-worn cameras. They could take the complaints that from the citizens and then go ahead and review that officer's video from the body-worn camera, and they dropped 87.5% of those complaints with the cameras. Use of force was dropped by 59%. So obviously it kept them in check on using more force than what was necessary to effect their arrest or whatever the case may be. For your department and you, with your camera being on, you know that, hey, if I'm getting into something with somebody, this is already being recorded. So you're going to have that instead of what you're catching on the news right now. What you're catching on the news is somebody out in public with their cell phone recording something after it had already started with the police, because now you have that happening where everybody's got their camera like, oh, I caught this little bits and pieces. The whole truth isn't there. The body-worn camera is going to save you in the long run. So the only issues with some of the body-worn cameras is they're cheap and they'll fall off your uniform. When you hit the camera button, they're going to back up the video 30 to 45 seconds. So with the video being backed up, you're more than likely going to catch that offense on video anyway, so there's not going to be anything for them to argue about. And the department is going to spend less time investigating all these allegations because they're going to be able to review your video instead of having to go speak to all these other witnesses on what may or may not have happened. Then the third point, your cost of the body-worn cameras. The cost is minimal for the cameras. A department of 84 was able to buy the 84 cameras for less than $5,000 and a 3-year contract for data storage for $78,000 through Taser International. And the biggest issue right now for the body-worn cameras is the cost of storing the data. Large departments like the Dallas-Fort Worth area and everything, they're looking at over $2 million a year to store data for cases that are pending. And so we talked about the history of the body-worn cameras and police cameras, how the cameras can be beneficial to you and your agency. And then the cost of the body worn cameras. And I put a little statement here on the bottom myself. It says, so to keep those of us who are in law enforcement from having to write the "Dear Chief, no one was more surprised than I" letter, you need to figure out ways that you can come up with at your department or whatever to get these cameras to save your butt and your department in lawsuits. A lot of this information I gathered from policeone.com, the Capitol, with going on with the legislative bills right now for body worn cameras, and Taser International. All right, that's it.